anyways, my point is they've left this very open-ended because so many people in this day and age can't be confined to, one box. And it got me thinking about stuff. And I thought about this, and I thought, I wonder what Barack Obama did. Because we've mentioned this, on the show, that, the first black president, et cetera, but in reality, he is biracial. His mother, in fact, he grew up with his white family. Obviously, father Kenyan descent really wasn't around. Very well documented in his biography. And I was wondering, I wonder what Barack Obama put down on his census form. Does anybody in here know what he did? Barack Obama put down black. Put down black, didn't put down anything else, which I thought was really, really interesting. I had actually, that was kind of like a question I threw out there. I knew about that because the story, people were writing about this when he did do that. And I got to thinking, and I just was wondering to myself, I wonder, like, how this census works. Now, if anybody out there knows what they really want this information for, like really, really, give me a call, let me know, 877-CHAT-212. I should try and call, the Census Department, because I remember when it had come out, and I believe this was at the beginning of April, whenever they had first, sent out the census forms, people were, saying that he should have said biracial. Other people were saying, he was right to say black, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of people were saying he identifies as a black person, so he put down black on the census form. And so it made me wonder, is this form, what really is the goal of the census form? Is it for us to actually answer the questions based upon our genetic makeup? Or is it really, or is it for us to answer the questions based upon what we identify with? And, because I know people that, I love New York. I know some people who are not even black or white. And, I have some friends that are Indian that would say, I identify with black before anything else. Would they really put down black on the census form because they identify with that? Is that the point of the census? Or is the census to really truly get an accurate profile of what makes up America? And if that's the case, then is an accurate profile what people identify with? Or is it what people genetically have, irregardless of what they might identify with? And if this is going to be accurate, I think that we probably need to make that distinction, because you couldn't have people answering their questions based on one take and not another. So I just thought that was interesting. I haven't filled the form out yet. Not sure what I'm going to do. I remember I had an incident like this occur when I was growing up in Texas. Everyone knows I live in a small town. I was getting my driver's license. Grew up in a town, again, Round Rock. It was like a 7-foot rock in the middle of a creek, in the middle of nowhere, Texas. In fact, when I moved to this town, there wasn't even a McDonald's. We praised God, hallelujah, when a McDonald's came into town. How small is that? You see people on their hands and knees like they're at a church service, raising their hands to the golden arches. Not the ones that are greeting you in heaven. Actual golden arches of McDonald's. Point is I went to get go get my driver's license, and I've always been one of these rebellious, questioning kids, and I take pride in that. Went there. And we've come a long way, baby, because let me tell you, when I was getting my driver's license back in Texas, I'm not going to tell you the exact year because I would really date myself. You're never going to get my real age out of me. But let's just say approximately 15 years ago, and leave it at that, give or take 20 years, you didn't have all these options. There were 3 boxes. And at that point in time, I said, ma'am, I really can't, I can't fill this form out and sign my name to this because there's nothing here that I feel comfortable signing. Her response was, well, kiddo, I don't know. She said, like, I got my hamburger helper in the refrigerator. It's time for me to go to lunch, so you better figure it out in the next 3 minutes because I'm taking off. So I filled out the form and, went on my way. Tore out of there like a bat out of hell. I remember that much with the driver's license. But again, I'm just curious on anybody's take. Let me know. Shoot me a tweet on Twitter. Shoot me an email. Let me know what you think about that. I mean, I think that it's a question that's very interesting. And I also, there was one other thing. I'm at home, and when I get on these tangents, I start Googling stuff and looking stuff up. So I'm thinking about this issue. I've got, my census stuff in front of me. I'm thinking about, Carolyn Battle's documentary. I'm thinking about Obama. And thinking about his life and then what he did, and then trying to figure out if this is really meant to be what we identify with, or what we really are genetically made of. And and if this was going to be what I would identify with, I mean, I would definitely have to print other and put in like alien or whatever, because I just don't feel like I identify with anybody. So I was thinking about this, and then another thing. So I was looking up all of this information. There was another question that had occurred to me. And, I actually popped in Carolyn Battle's documentary. And so now I'm thinking about all of these racial issues all of a sudden, and specifically biracial issues. And I noticed, and I started thinking about people and how things occur out in the world. And watching this documentary, and there were all these biracial individuals talking about their experience, and then you had their parents, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of people had brought up this issue of passing, which, in layman's terms would be, if you are of mixed race and people know that you are, but you happen to actually, look more white, that you would pass yourself off as being fully white and not, embracing your blackness. So, that would be what people would say is passing. And this had come up in the biracial discussion, and it brought up an interesting thought to me. And I was just thinking about just my, experience with people that I know in conversations, and not, I'm obviously very biracial. I could never pass for, solely being, of one ethnicity, race, or whatever you want to call it. But I was thinking about people that could. And it occurred to me that it always seems like when people use the term passing, it always seems as if they only use that whenever the person is going the white way. So if you have, a makeup that's both black and white, or white or Latin or whatever it may be, that whenever you go the white way, it's considered passing. But if you have the same makeup and you go the dark way, and you say that you're Latin but don't acknowledge your whiteness, or if you say that you're black and not acknowledge your whiteness, people don't call that passing. And to me, it would seem the exact same thing, just going the opposite direction. And I thought, why is that?